Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our live show. Is it what day? It's Friday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Friday. I've been off all week from work. No, I haven't. I've been working. My boss is watching this. I've worked really hard this week. Sorry. Yeah, can we stop? Cut.
No, it's not live.
Today's my last day, actually. I'm officially in between employment. I'm unemployed today, which is good. Yeah, so which is nice. I'm a lady of leisure, so that's good. Welcome to the show. I digress. Welcome along to our show. Well, this is a bit of a follow-on, really, isn't it, from the Castle show last week. That Castle show had a massive impact on Facebook. We had loads of it, and on YouTube as well. Yeah. Loads of people watching and stuff like that. So thank you everyone at home who's been watching. Let us know who's on now. Give us a hello. We'll give you a shout out, and then we'll sort of talk about what we're going to be doing today. So. Hey peeps, we've got Zoe. Hi Zoe, you alright?
Hi Zoe.
Ever present, love it. So tonight's show, we are talking, we're showing really, aren't we? We're doing a bit more showing. So last week we talked about castles, we talked about the makeup of the castles. We're not going to be recapping that, we've just been having a chat offline, and if you want to go back and watch that, or if something piques your interest from what we've said, you know, or what we've shown you tonight, go back and watch that show, because you'll get to know a little bit about how we invest on YouTube. Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah, so go back and have a little watch that if you haven't seen it already. Yeah, tonight's show we're going to bring you a bit of evidence. Really, these are my good. I like these shows because you get a chance to sort of see what we did, how we did it, and generally what we experienced there as well. As always, like, share, follow, subscribe, keep doing it, guys. The numbers are really starting to rise now, which is really good. So. Been busy plotting and planning this week venues to go back to, trying to sort of look at where we can go back to COVID safe and where we can go back to once post sort of the 21st of July, no, June, wasn't it? Oh, God. 21st of July, June, sorry. Oh.
Whenever lockdown.
Oh, God, the 21st.
It's been a long year.
Yeah.
21st. The 21st. Once we go live there, hi Donna. Donna's live. Donna's on as well.
Hi Donna.
Yeah.
Hi Donna.
Once we're allowed to open up. I've been chatting to venues sort of. Really, if I'm being totally honest, I have been looking at venues sort of August, latter part of August, September, October, Halloween, a couple of Halloweens, November shows. Really, I've been really looking at that end just to make sure we can get to the 21st of June and things are still safe. The numbers are still low. Last year we were caught out a little bit with expensive venues that we needed to do that wouldn't refund, so we had to do them. And although we were COVID safe as COVID safe as we could be, hand sanitizers, splitting the groups, we were still a bit too close.
It was difficult as well, wasn't it?
Really hard to do. So yeah, we're trying to busy plotting and planning. We're speaking to venues, sort of provisionally booking places, sort of June and July, but really. I think we're going to probably start launching proper events where loads of people can come. September onwards, really. I think that's where we're sort of hitting our way. It gets a bit darker. It's a bit of a better evening in September. I think the summer evenings as well. Summer's predominantly been a little bit more difficult where people have got holidays or people are busy or they're barbecuing and doing stuff anyway. So evenings are lighter as well. And actually, generally in the summer, outside's a lot noisier, isn't it?
Yeah, more people are out.
More people are out, beer gardens, and We've suffered as that, you know, been countless venues that we can note that we've suffered from
music festivals, for example.
Beer gardens, people smoking outside, and generally people rudely having fun. Yeah, rudely having fun.
Not ghost hunting.
And not ghost hunting, you know. So we're going to try and be really clever with the venues we book. If we do go early and do some June events, we're going to be really clever where we book and make sure we can introduce those properly. Really, so. But yeah, as always, like I said, if we do some smaller events and there's tickets available and you fancy joining us, then always sort of chuck us a message, see where we're going to be. What we're going to try and do as well is go live. Myself and Lee are in bubbles, and if we've got venues where we can go a little bit, sort of invite a few people along, as long as they're COVID safe venues, and we're not going to bring sort of 6-7 people and mix loads of households. But you know, we've got some opportunities coming up, which we'll talk about later in the show, where we actually have things in place like. My daughter's at senior school. My wife is a teacher, so she's a teacher. So we've got hundreds of lateral flow tests, so we'll make sure that if we are going to come live from a venue, we'll be tested. I get tested like 2 or 3 times a week anyway. So as much as they're probably
COVID, or is that for other stuff as well?
Kev, we're live. You do know we're live. I want to smell that Ribena you're drinking there. Are you sure that's definitely Ribena this evening? Yeah, I get tested for all sorts, but it is mainly for COVID. But everyone's doing so well.
So you do.
No, but yeah.
Lovely weather as well, isn't it?
So yeah, so we're going to try and sticking to the rules as where we can, and if we keep, if we can get to venues, then we will be. We will be out there, sort of being COVID safe. But I think for anyone looking at venues, Hannah put "Can't wait." She asked about. She does quite a few private events with us, so yeah. I think maybe sort of September onwards we'll start looking at diaries, venues we want to go to, and then we know that COVID's. Hopefully by then we've seen the back of it. We've seen that there's going to be a third wave. We just try and sort of see the back of COVID out, and then if we're able to, and there's venues that are safe, I think we'll do a lot of visiting over the next 2 months to make sure, see what provisions are made. What I can say for venues is the terms and conditions have changed. There's now COVID things to sign. They show you what you need to bring and what need to bring, what we need to clean and what they clean, and the one-way systems. The venues have really got smart with it now, and I think that where they've been closed for so long, I think the first time we locked down, it was all a bit like, is COVID really that bad? You know, is there all hysteria? So although there was hand sanitizers, we were still too close, and it was still with venues we weren't comfortable going back to. But now there seems real proper things in place, so I think that'll help us moving forward as well. And yeah, quite like being distanced from people, so it's all right.
Nice.
Yeah, it's quite nice. So yeah, so Julie said hello. Julie, that is definitely a 100% record, isn't it? 100% record. Need to get you a Blue Peter badge. I say that every week. I'm going to make a badge. Now I've got time on my hands. Now I'm a lady of leisure. I'm going to make a badge.
We should have ghost badges, couldn't we? Like little ghosts.
We should do. I've got a Ouija board badge.
Yeah, I think the little ghost shape.
We should do really. We have the key rings, don't we? The key rings are really cool.
Yeah.
I think we need to. I think we need to invest in some more. Definitely some badges. Key rings and mugs. That's what we need to do. But yeah, talking about COVID, we're going to return as soon as we can. If it's looking good for June, and as we progress, like I said, I'm speaking to venues daily. There's some really interesting conversations, and but I think we just want to be safe in ourselves, don't we, to make sure that we can do that. And we may do some smaller events, and if people want to come along and experience those, they're quite good ones to come along to, aren't they, as well, really, when we get a chance to do that anyway. So yeah, that's all cool. So with that, tonight's show is going to be about evidence. So we're going to talk about the evidence that we've got. We're going to walk you through. So what we like to try and do is we'll give you a bit of not an overview, not a recap, but really the venue itself, so we can discuss that, and then we'll bring to you the footage as normal. We'll get you to watch it, and then once you've watched it, let us know what you see, hear, and what you think of it. And then we'll have a discussion afterwards of what we found and what we saw. Some of them is visible and really obvious. Some of them, we might need to recap for you and stuff like that. But that's all cool, really. So Emma says hello. Hi, Emma. Lee's watching. How you doing, Lee? See you tomorrow. Can't wait. Can't wait. So with that, we'll move on. I've got a question for you, and a question probably for people at home, and I'm going to spring it on our guys as well who watch the show. Name one castle. So this show's about castles, the evidence in castles. We did, it's a follow-on show. Name one castle you'd love to investigate. Now I'm going to caveat this. It doesn't need to be a castle that you can get into, because we looked at that before, didn't we? That we'd like to go here, there, everywhere. For you guys at home, tell me a castle that you'd love to investigate. Do you reckon? So where would you like to go? It could be high in the sky. It could be a castle that we know we're never going to get into without being arrested. It could be a castle that they investigate and stuff like that. So while you guys are getting your answers in, so Jonathan said he's watching. How you doing? Thank you for watching. Cheers for watching. Think about it at home, guys. Tell me a castle you'd love to investigate. And now I'm going to spring on the team. So Mary, one castle in the world. If I said to you, I've got the keys, I'm going to get them for you. Where would you go?
Does it have to be one?
Yeah, for now. Unless no one answers me at home, then I'm coming back to you.
Okay. Well, I think for me, the ultimate, and I'm sure you guys are probably going to agree, but it has to be the London Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just because of the history. It's immense. I don't know if anybody watches the documentaries that they have on telly on about it, and they quite often sort of say that there's a spooky feeling around there. So yeah. it just has to be one of the places that we have to go.
Cool. Andy, where would you go?
I would like to go to Kachese Castle in Slovakia, which was the home and the prison of Elizabeth Bathory, because I've always been a little bit interested in the story of how she was, I don't know, she was tried and executed based on kind of stories and hearsay. And there's also a bit where the lord who took her land and her castle and everything was owed money by her husband, who then died. So I always felt it was like another story here, and it's kind of been surrounded by folklore. And it's one of those rare places where I think a paranormal investigator is probably the only person who can go there and actually uncover something new and find some new truth there beyond all the local tales and the horror stories that got spread after the fact.
Good work.
We've lost Andy's audience.
Oh, we lost your voice, Andy. We've lost you.
Oh, never mind. Back again.
Again.
That was good. It's like you were projecting your voice into the castle. Before we move on to you, Heather, right?
Yes, right.
There's always one. Actually, there was two tonight. They're both named Lee, right? One is sitting next to me, and one is Lee, our friend, right? And Lee's at Castle Grayskull, which is obviously he. But Lee, you were trumped by Lee said Takeshi's Castle. So actually, you're both idiots.
That would be a good one.
And thank you very much. But yeah, Lee said like it's Takeshi's Castle. So yeah, Castle Grayskull and Takeshi's Castle have been our two answers of the day. We've got a few more answers in, which is good. So Hev, where would you go?
I'm with Mary. It's got to be Tower of London, but we've already had that, so I'm going to go up to Scotland, so either Stirling or Edinburgh, again, because of the history surrounding the battle areas, you know, all the conflict going on up there, and, yeah, stunning part of the country to spend a few days at as well. So, yeah, probably, I think Stirling would be my first choice, and then Edinburgh. That's aside from Tower, because the Tower of London has got to be the ultimate. If we could have it exclusively, just SGS, no members of the public, a few of the beefeaters maybe, just to give us their input of where they think the spookiest places are. But yeah, otherwise Scotland.
So apart from Takeshi's Castle, where would you go?
Probably, if I can't pick anyone that everyone else has picked, because two of them have been mentioned so far, I think I would say Lep Castle in Ireland.
Nice.
Okay.
We had that booked. We had it booked. We had the whole island trip booked actually, but it sort of fell through the last minute, didn't it? But it was just we were going to go to Lep Castle, so that'd be a great one to go to, and that one is doable. That's the only. Yeah, that's not the only.
At least my dreams could be fulfilled.
You can.
Unlike any of you lot.
So my one would be Bran Castle. Mine would be Bran Castle. So the whole Dracula. We had that one. I had that one. Literally, apart from when they give us the price, I think it was about £3,800 it was for the night. But obviously, getting over to Transylvania, going over there, we were going to try and do the weekend over there, and then do the woods, and then work our way through because there's some woods down there, isn't there? Which is supposed to be hideous. I don't know what they're called, but I'd like to go to Bran Castle, I think, and that's doable as well. So So what we got so far? So we'll work our way down. So apart from Castle Grayskull, we got Tamworth Castle. So Zoe said to like a Tamworth Castle. Is that doable? I don't know about Tamworth Castle.
Right.
Right, I'm going to look into that. Been made a mental note. Mary, make a note of that. Good on you, Mary. So Michelle said Windsor Castle.
Yeah, good job.
We mentioned Windsor, didn't we, before?
Did. Yeah, good face.
I was going to break into Windsor Castle once when I was drunk in Oxford, when I was drunk, in Windsor. I don't know if I should say this live thingy, but I was getting a kebab, and there was a side gate open and there was a window open. So then I thought I might get shot. So I didn't bother. So anyway, I digress. Sorry.
And to think if you had done that, we wouldn't be here now having this conversation, would we?
Well, no, we might have a Ouija board and I might still be joining you. You never know, do you? Let's not negative.
Let's move on, Head. We're fine.
You mean nothing about me. Anyway, so we've got Windsor Castle, we've got Castle Grayskull. I'm not sure He-Man would be too happy about that, but I'd love to investigate it. So Jonathan said Bramley Castle, Netley Castle, but probably the Braxton Ruins, because the devil worshipping and the brothel, etc. And the guy killed himself before the building was unfinished, so it's understood the reasons behind it. let me just tell you, I know we've got to be careful of the time tonight, but Jonathan, Netley Castle was my first ever. I saw. So basically, right, I was 30. We talked about it as well. It's how I got interested in the paranormal. I was outside Netley Castle with my catapult, and I wasn't allowed. My mum always said I wasn't allowed to take my catapult out. I took it out and disobeyed her. Anyway, so I'm firing nicely, just as a nice boy I was, just into the water. Nothing major.
Hopefully she's not watching.
His mum's not watching.
Yeah. Grounded.
I will be, yeah. Sorry, mum. So I'm firing into the water. I turn around and look at the castle, and behind me, standing in the doorway, is a nurse standing there with a wicker basket with white linen in, and on top of her head, she had one of the hats, with the red cross on it. I looked at her. I took my catapult. It was called a Black Widow. I buried it in the sand, and I ran, thinking, crap, she's going to tell mum, like, I'm in trouble, only to sort of get further down the beach, come back and thought, it's a nursing home now. It's a nursing home. So when I got back there, and when I do my walks around there now, that you can see that door, but that door's boarded up. So actually that nurse had come through that door, and I didn't think paranormal, I didn't think ghost straight away. It was broad daylight. I never thought it was a ghost. I thought it was someone who's going to ring the police, because it's classed as a weapon. So actually, Netley Castle would be amazing, but it's an old folks' home now, and they wouldn't be too keen. I don't think that's what wondering about. But actually, do you know what we're from Netley ourselves, so we're from Netley ourselves, and we have lots of people. We've got friends that work in the nursing home, haven't we, and work in the nursing home next door.
Yes.
And they've said, "Is there any way you can come down?" I'm like, "Listen, we'd love to, but you just couldn't for the whole ethical side of things." But yeah, they have paranormal activity going on there all the time. They said it's a spooky places where they don't like going to, and that's in actually the modern bit to the left-hand side of the castle, so that'd be amazing. Donna said Dover Castle. Mary, you nearly said that, didn't you?
Yeah. Again, that was one that I looked into last week. Amazing place. So the level of history goes right back to the Doomsday, book. It's had a castle or a fort there ever since there. So yeah, amazing place. I'd love to go there.
We had that booked last April. That was booked. They cancelled us because of COVID. So that was our first casualty from COVID. We would have been sitting out, probably, hopefully, talking and showing footage.
Yeah.
It's not a castle, but Emma said there's a haunted hotel in Glastonbury she'd love to go to. She said, sorry, and it's not a castle, she knows, but,
Haven't been.
Haunted hotel. Emma, do you know the name of it, do you? Because I'll contact them. We'll get it.
This is your plan then to find places to go next year.
I think COVID, for me as well, actually could have a positive effect on venues, because where it's been closed for so long, buildings and hotels might be looking at other revenue streams, and they may open up. So if any names you've got, a place you'd like to go, can't get in, let us know, because we're trying to get it. If you don't know it, then I'll just type in haunted hotels. And normally, a lot of these hotels, a lot of these pubs, they advertise themselves as haunted, don't they? Or they advertise themselves as the history side of things as well. So that's cool. So yeah, good conversation. Thanks everyone for joining in on that. If anyone else got any suggestions, anyone watching that's not mentioned it, tell me a castle in the world you'd love to investigate.
One place that we haven't said, which I know we discussed it last week, but
I said you can have one, Mary. That's it.
Markham Castle.
Yeah,
definitely Markham.
There we are.
You don't believe I'm much. I'm breathing in that photo. Just holding it in.
Were you?
No. Right, Heather, right. You said you want me to log off. Yes, I do now, actually. I really do want you to log off. I don't care about Andy's formatting. You're gone. Black her out. Cool. So, good conversation, guys. Keep them coming in. Keep the conversation going.
If anyone's got any more other castles, they...
Yeah, because the conversation stays on, so we'll use that as a bit of a research tool anyway. So, if you've got any suggestions or even they're not castles, let us know where you want to go. Because actually, I'm building the diary up, actually. So if you've got anywhere you'd like to go, then
Takeshi's Castle.
Takeshi's Castle's not available, unless you do the whole run and stuff.
Yeah.
Bit of a waste, isn't it? So, evidence. So before we go on to our evidence, it was actually a castle. I keep saying this back and forth. It was actually a castle that got us into, wasn't it? It was a castle that got us into investigating, wasn't it? And I guess if it wasn't for that castle, I don't know. We were just driving home, weren't we? And I sort of said it really sparked the interest. So it was Tutbury Castle we spoke about before, but it was a castle that really sparked our interest in it. I'm almost thankful that there was 50,000 people on the event, because actually it made us walk away and think,
it ruined the experience for us, didn't it?
Do you know what I think I'd say? And I've said this before, I think, and this is not blowing Southern Ghost Sight's trumpet, but if I would have found a group like ours, Southern Ghost Sight wouldn't exist, because actually, because we give people a lot of freedom on the events, don't we? We don't say, in this room you're definitely doing this, or Heather's a bit draconian and makes people do things, but the rest of us are quite down to earth and chilling out. But yeah, so Tuckery Class is where it all started. So
I was going to say, we let people investigate how we've always wanted to do it.
Definitely, and it was on that drive home where I drove home. And I'm driving along, and we're all tired. I drove home. We didn't have a hotel. Thought I'd be okay. It was snowing, so I was really alert. But sort of turned around to Lee and my dad and said, "We could do this, you know." And they both went, "Are you mental?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then I think it was that, like, the following weekend, wasn't it? We were just sort of flitting around with names and stuff like that. And that's where, when we went to Oxford Castle with Phil Wyman, didn't we? And
yes,
because of the whole Most Haunted side of things, we went with him. And that was another one where really enjoyed it, loved the venue. We're showing some footage from our investigation there, but actually it was that one as well. It was
just wasn't how we wanted to do it.
Nah, it just was, and it's one of them where you pay a lot of money and think, I just love to be able to be in here on my own, or I'd love to try that here. And as much as the bigger companies that make money from the events, that they're a lot more strict to their paying for medium, so they're not going to pay for a medium and then let you go and do what you want to do. So they were very medium-led, both those.
Well, at Tutbury, we spent the first 3 hours doing tours of the same building with a medium, a historian.
Yeah, we did.
And then, first of all, the guy who was looking after the castle, then it went to a medium, a historian, and we were just walking around in circles.
You thought I talked too much?
God, yeah, you could get a job there.
You got no job, actually. I have got a job, but yeah. Nicky's on. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Nicky, for joining us. And then, that's where we want to go. So Tutbury Castle is where it was all born, really. And although that we probably had one of our best experiences there when we were trying to walk out and we saw that guy, actually, that's gone now, but actually the picture that was on the picture was on the screen, actually. The picture's on the screen. Actually, we actually saw it on the gatehouse on the way back out, actually, didn't we?
Oh, original logo.
Yeah, actually it is. It does form part of our logo, actually. Anyway, I've got to shut up because we're run out of time for everything. So the first thing we're going to look at is Oxford Castle. So we talked about Oxford Castle, and those that didn't see it, go back over YouTube and watch that video, and you'll get a lot of the history and the ghosts that haunt it, and the area you get to investigate. The great thing about Oxford Castle is you have 3 quite separate areas, although that one, another one, a tip, don't book it in summer, because you have the outside area, plus the new Mal Maison Hotel has a brand new roof garden, which me and Jen had a few glasses of wine in there. Obviously, I was probably really loud, but that there looks right over the Saxon Tower. So and you see, as you see from the Saxon Tower on the right-hand side, it's quite open, and where it being a castle, there's no windows in there, so there's no double glazing or anything. So this is a video that was taken by Simon, actually, and they were experiencing. So they broke down. I think Simon, Abby, and Michelle. You said, didn't you?
Yes.
So our sister Abby, and then Michelle. Another person that I know she's watching tonight, but Michelle, and they went into the Black Panther cell. So the padded cell. So they're in the middle of a cell, which actually is a good place to investigate because you are in the cell block. It was built for him, I said last week, but built for him because he gets escaping. So it's a perfect cell. It's a blacked out padded cell. So Simon and so the 3 of them were in there, and they were getting some weird feelings and weird feelings, and then sort of had a few sort of sounds and responses and did some calling out. So Simon just picked up his phone and did some recording, and this is what he captured, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it.
And again.
Come on, Spirit, did you just see that?
That's fireworks.
Come on, use our energy.
Guy.
Yeah.
And again. And again.
Come on, Spirit, did you just see that?
That's fireworks.
Come on, use our energy.
Okay. So I think from the off, what we need to be mindful is when we're investigating a castle is it's dusty, isn't it? So there is going to be dust. Simon hasn't got an IR like this on that. It is literally just his bog standard camera and phone. I think it might have been a Samsung phone. But so I think that from the orbs in the beginning, I think that we need to be mindful, I guess, of that it could have been dust. So we need to play devil's advocate that it could have been dust. But it's the red thing at the end that he captured that I think throws that curveball in. That actually, why is dust? There we go. Lots of dust, but then the one at the end is really interesting. That's exactly what we think. It's I think if that would have been white or that would have been Matt, we probably would have just counted the video. I mean, I know that Simon was sort of saying on the video that there's lots of orbs and stuff, but although it's a padded cell, isn't it? But so it is raised and it's not as dusty as the castle floor.
No, that's true.
But
and everyone is sat down.
Everyone is sat down in movement, but we still need to we're going to be mindful. But it's the red thing at the end. We can't explain
There's
it.
nothing in there that they had that would reflect or cause that kind of light. It was just off his Samsung phone. Yeah, just a normal box standard phone.
So you do get things, especially when you're filming into another area or you're filming into where there's lights and stuff, that you can get glimpses, can't you, or traces from. And I know that the iPhone can be a bit of a git for that, can't it? If you go if you take some photos, especially with
photos, it leaves a streak.
It leaves a streak.
Yeah.
We thought in the beginning we were like, bloody hell, what's that? But actually, it can leave a streak. But that one there, he's filming. He's not really. He's panning around but not moving around. They're all sat on the floor.
It's the only one he caught of that colour as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't like there was.
It's rare. It is rare. I mean, we've probably caught in the 11 years we've been investigating. We've caught some coloured orbs, haven't we? We've got a pink one that we thought was a balloon at one stage. But actually, so to catch a red light and that to move sort of towards him, especially with the thoughts and feelings they were having, I think it's a really, really good video. And if anyone at home disagrees or think they have a theory behind it,
you're wrong.
You're absolutely wrong. No. Joking aside, we'd love to hear it. We've exhausted avenues in terms of, bugs and dust. Yeah. You can sort of. I think orbs in the beginning. Like Emma said, dust doesn't move that quickly. Especially if everyone's walking around, it can cause that sort of stir. But the door is closed. They're not just starting an investigation or just finishing or standing up. They are all sitting down, and everyone in that room is what I would call a seasoned investigator. So Simon's our team leader, and you got my sister Abby, and then you got the sister Abby, and then you've got Michelle, who's probably been on 90% of our investigations. So we've got Dave Everett watching tonight. It says top left is the Everly brothers, who have had a really tough lockdown. You coming on? Thank you ever so much, of the Saints. So that's the first video. Really good that you guys have picked that up as well. If anyone's got an explanation to it, an explanation to what you think the red light is,
other people's
really good, really, really good.
What I like about that bit of footage is the fact that it isn't on all the high-tech equipment. We take all the high-tech with us, but if somebody's coming on a ghost investigation for the first time and they've got their mobile phone with them, I know we say put it onto flight mode or something like that so it doesn't interfere, but you could just come along with your mobile phone and just start filming stuff, You don't need all the tech.
You see it as well, can't you?
Yeah.
And that's the thing with it. I think that if we were in a big room where Andy's got his equipment, like if you think that Andy, Mark Dunn, and Mike and Jace, think of the IR lights that are in there. So think about it's pitch black, but everyone's got their own IR light. It's casting different lights and shadows. That is Simon and two others sitting on the floor in the cell, at the back end of their investigation. So it's a cool bit, isn't it? It's a cool video, So anyway, it's special to us. That's our first one. Should we move on to Lancaster Castle then?
Yeah.
So Mary, I'm going to hand over to you. I'm going to shut up for a little bit.
So Lancaster Castle was actually one that you described, Dan, last week, and we were all together doing the investigation. It's one of the places that we really want to go back to. But the experience that you described. So we were in an area in Lancaster Castle, and we'd literally just started the investigation. So literally no more than 5 minutes we'd been in there. We'd set up, and if I recall where it is, it's kind of sort of in the lower part.
Yeah, under the gatehouse, I think.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. So it's well isolated, so there isn't many people around us at all. And we started to call out, and we hear footsteps coming down into the ring. but nobody came into the room. We then call out again, and we hear. Well, actually, I'm not going to tell you what we think we hear because because we're going to play that for you. So, but then we hear some other voices, and then Dan and Beth go out to investigate. And as Dan said last week, they spend 15, 20 minutes just trying to debunk the sounds that we heard. And I think that we're going to be able to show that to you. But we'll play the first one, and we'll let you hear what we think we heard.
When we came in earlier, we heard a thump or a footstep. Giggle. Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. So I included an event countdown this time, so if it's something that we want to kind of try and point towards without putting on screen what we're hearing or seeing, I'm just going to put a little countdown so you know kind of when to pay attention to and get ready for it, so it's not so much a surprise. So hopefully that was of some use, and let us know if you want us to play that back again. But otherwise, that was kind of the start of quite a lot of things that are happening down there under the gatehouse, if I recall. So we do have some other things that happen after that. At what point, I think, as Mary said, that we need to actually start checking them out.
So Nikki said that sounded rude, whatever it was. It sounded rude.
But when we were first reviewing it, to me it sounded, and I think we actually say it on the video, it sounded like someone clearing their voice. But actually, when Andy sort of goes into it a little bit deeper and looking into the frequencies, it sounds like an echo of the footsteps. Yeah. So I think sort of at the time it was a deep, gruff sort of voice that we thought we heard, but actually when we go into it, we think we hear a giggle. I think Andy's got a bit of a clearer audio on that, so you can try the next one.
Yeah. I heard that.
It's a noise.
It's got to be something else.
It's got to be a woman like that. Are you out there?
So I love Beth's reaction on that one. What? Normally Beth's quite stoic with these things. Like, what was that? We need to find out what that was. But no, I was excited with that one.
I have to admit, I did enjoy reviewing this one. There's quite a few comical moments on this one.
Definitely builds towards our show. We're going to do a blooper show, aren't we? But I mean, the key thing with this footage as well is because we were so keen on, because it was so far away from us being in Lancaster, because we were trying to get in for age and we had the opportunity to go into it. There is only, I think that there must have been 10 of us max. Do you think 10 of us max?
Yeah, max.
So 10 of us were at this old castle.
Yeah, and you see the size of it. Everyone was spread out over there and place as well.
There was no one near. There was no one around, and actually, we were privileged to be allowed to put some recordings in an area where it is not shown to the public, and it does have a bit of a darker history with sort of children and slave labour and stuff like that. So we were able to we were shown it. We weren't allowed to investigate it thoroughly, but we were sort of around that area, and certainly where we were. If you look at the map where the gatehouse is, it's literally to the left-hand side. And the other group would have been in the big building at the back, and then the Hebs group, I think, was at the left-hand side. So, yeah, where you've got the big square at the back.
Yeah.
One team were there, and then where the sort of semicircle to the left-hand side, that was another team. So actually, they were nowhere near. So what we were witnessing, it wasn't coming from us. And obviously, you guys know what we're like now. We've gone, and he's gone through the frequencies to check out whether it was one of us, whether it sounds like one of us, and you know, we call it evidence now because we've gone through the debunking stage, saying that actually what you just listened to wasn't us. Certainly wasn't us.
And actually, that's part of we're going to do a next video, because we've actually got a longer video of you and Beth going through the building, finding the security guards as well, and they actually confirmed they weren't in that section of the building. They were actually with the other teams.
Yeah.
The other side of the building. So you guys done a really thorough check of the building just to make sure that there was nobody in our side.
We did hear though. We were again. I think I touched on last week. We were, like I said, down the left-hand side of the castle. A group was in there. We were having all these weird experiences. And do you know what? I don't know whether Mark was watching tonight, but we saw some experienced investigators get spooked. Not me, obviously, because I'm brave, but there was definitely some. Like Mark Irwood was in like the cell area on his own, and definitely walked his way towards the door and admitted to himself that he felt massively uncomfortable in that area. I mean, he's one of our team leaders, you know. Like we felt vulnerable, you know. And then we get on to that video now with me and Beth.
Yeah, we've got one. So we've got another little piece here, which is the point where we've basically gone. This is crazy. There must be someone apart from us in this gatehouse. So I'll just play that.
Yeah, cool.
Right.
Did you just whisper?
Yeah.
Well, that was me saying what was that, but there was a louder voice.
Right.
Okay, so then basically after that, Dan and Beth went out of that underground cells area and started checking the rest of the entire gatehouse, while Mary and I stayed at the bottom like a control, because we had audio running, Dan and Beth had audio running, and the idea is if we were picking up anything else, we'll be able to work out roughly where it is. And it's like a circle, isn't it, that gatehouse? You can kind of go up one side, across the top, down the other side, out the front. And that's kind of what you did. You just did this big loop of the entire place, stopping off by the security office on the way. But there was literally no one whatsoever at all in that entire building.
Well, so what happened is, so from there we were experiencing everything. So you just saw it back then. You see us go to the office to see you sort of see the guys. You sort of made sure they were sort of there first, and then we went up, and like I say, it was our area, so there was no one else there. My only concern was that, so me and Beth could hear what sounded like two people talking, and when we got to the room there with the ladder in it, you just saw, I know we've gone a bit quick, when you got the room with the ladder, that light was on, right, and that light is on a sensor, so we saw that light, when we got on the stairs, we saw that light on, so we were like, oh god, and we were genuinely, myself and Beth looked at each other, we try and maybe put this footage on somewhere, but myself and Beth looked at each other and were like, actually, then we were resounded to the fact that actually it's someone walking around, because it wasn't just voices we were hearing, it wasn't just that. Someone physically walked past and turned that light on. So we walked round, we went round and round, and as you can see, we scaled the whole. So if you were looking at the main building where we scaled, we're outside and back in, and then we speak to the security guard and listen, where the hell were you? Have you been walking around? And I think I always said to them, we've just been following you around. He's like, no chance. And they were eating. Yeah, we're on 4G.
Could be YouTube. The last time we cut off, YouTube sort of done something and kicked everybody off.
Of course it is, yeah. YouTube's gone as well, hasn't it? So they've both gone at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're back.
Right, really sorry about that, guys. All of a sudden, YouTube went off and Facebook went off, so we were just trying to ascertain what the issue was and try and find and get to the bottom. But actually, we're back on, and yeah, apologies for the break. Hopefully, I wonder whether the guys are watching the old one, so we might need to get a message on there. So should we do that? To just people watch. I don't know. Is it one continuation?
I think it should be a continuous.
We've got one person watching it. I think that's me. Yeah.
Say hello, otherwise we won't know who's watching.
Yeah,
And whoever's on YouTube, say hello as well.
Guys, let us know we're back. Sorry about that. I might try and go on the. I know I should have probably done this before, but oh no, there's only one. So we're live, guys. Anyway, so thank you ever so much for.
Zoe's watching.
Sorry about this, everyone that was watching at home. Facebook just had a complete malfunction, but I don't know how much of it you heard. But basically, what we're saying with that video, I know it was at fast speed, so you're not going to. You're not going to sort of get you're not going to sort of get the gist of what we're doing, but we literally covered the length and breadth. You see me even take back a tarpaulin to see whether someone was hiding. I'd have been so mad if that had been the case, but we were having so much good activity to be disturbed from the people above. It was odd. It was just an odd series of events, and probably it really made us want to go back. They're not letting groups in a moment. I've not spoken to them this year, but maybe that'll change once they've been closed to COVID and stuff. But we're
and I've never been.
Yeah,
I missed it.
I reckon for me, yeah, it was one of the best pieces of long evidence we had, like with lots of different voices, lots of different voices and lots of different things really. So we're going to put on there, we are live again.
I think it's worthwhile us maybe releasing a much longer YouTube video with it, just so that people can watch it at the speed and see literally how much we were getting over such a short period of time.
I think I even saw, I didn't see last time, when I'm talking, it's almost like an orb that comes down as well over one of my shoulders. Before we go walking, so if anyone saw that, but yeah, it was odd. It was an odd series of events. And you're looking at the castle now. Myself and Beth walked from the left-hand side of the main gate, which is right in front of you, right up and over, then through the building. I don't know what I'm pointing at. So when you see the three windows, we walked through there and then down, and then we went back on ourselves, and then back on ourselves, and then into the security guards. But like I said, it wasn't just the voices. Something physically had to have walked through. It was like they were playing with us. It was odd. It was a really odd series of events. Certainly one we really would love to go back to. But yeah, great venue, really, really good venue, and certainly one that if we can go back. Yeah, Julie said we are back and YouTube back as well. Thank you, Julie.
Cheers.
But yeah, certainly.
We've got Georgia on YouTube saying hi as well from South Wales.
Who's that?
Georgia, who's on YouTube.
Hi Georgia, thank you for tuning in.
Evening.
Thank you for tuning in on YouTube. Yeah. I quite like it when people watch it on the dual mediums as well, so that's good. Yeah, so Lancaster Castle, I'm generally thinking, and myself and Hev had these conversations, you've got the Morecambe Winter Gardens up there as well. I think if we travel that far again, we do Friday night Morecambe Winter Gardens, stay over, fish and chips on the beach again, Hev?
I think they are much
lovely. And then Saturday night in Lancaster, so you're going all that way. You've also got Pendle up, haven't you, as well, that way, so you could also do. There's loads of venues up that way. We were just sort of in awe of what we had to investigate. And do you know what? We probably would go and investigate. I think at one stage, Kev and myself, we were sat in the courtyard, weren't we? And sat on the floor in the courtyard. Because we're thinking that we always go into the buildings and the cells and stuff. But actually, in that courtyard, if you watch prison films, if you watch things that go on, sort of shankings and stuff like that, and then people, and then from the prisons that are opened back up, that try to be excavated, and they can't because of the bodies, that's where a lot of the unmarked graves were, and where a lot of bodies were. So we sat there and did a bit of investigating as well, and I think that we had some weird stuff there. So I think that what we're going to do, because that was a quick speed and running through it, we'll do a video. We'll actually do a Lancaster video where we'll just sort of talk you through it, maybe do some sort of narrative around what we got. But I think that those 4 clips there, the giggle, there's a couple of voices, or the sound and the voice, and then the walking around, that's almost a half an hour show in itself with the explanations of what we see.
I was waiting for you to say that's a show in itself.
Mary, note that down.
Noted.
So that's Lancaster Castle, guys. If you get the opportunity to go, come with us, because we did it with 10 people. But yeah, I can imagine groups lump people in it because it's huge, but we were able to do it with 10. I think it was 10 maximum. I don't think you weren't even on it, were you?
I was working away. That's the problem. If you had you went with not saying all groups do it, but a group that take a large amount of people, sometimes up to 60 people.
We would have got that.
You wouldn't have even investigated it because you would have just thought there's that many people there.
Yeah.
You would have just written that off.
And there's no doubt, if we would have been a normal team, we're not certainly far from normal, but if we'd have been the normal team, and if I'd had to split that castle, there would have been a team above us.
Yeah. And
me and Beth we'd have never even realised. We'd never even.
But there were areas we couldn't get into because they were doing renovation stuff as well, wasn't there? So it might be that by the time we get to go back, there might be more areas for us to investigate because there's a lot of stuff that wasn't available.
Yeah, there was.
We might not have a better
way. Just say if you come back, you might would get you into some other stuff. So
yeah.
I think it's all about. I think when you go something like that, you know, it's a venue where they're proper security guards there, and they do get groups muck around they don't know, and we've built a really good relationship up with them. Yeah. So I think I think that we went back there. If it was the same guys, we would definitely have a few extra areas. Yeah, they let us into a few little secrets last time, which we won't divulge, but they let us into a few little places, and yeah, so it was a great venue for us, really good, and we'd love to go back. It's a little bit far, so that there's got to be a weekend, doesn't it? I reckon Friday night, Saturday night, and then home on Sunday. So that's Lancaster Castle. So we're going to move down country to the Midlands and into Dudley Castle. So Dudley Castle, you remember, that's the one with the zoo where you played with the meerkats. And
play with them.
Worried the meerkat.
That's not what the court order said.
Meerkat warrior.
Yeah, but also that's where we were. Yeah, it's a strange place. So, Andy, do you want to have a little chat about that one and then play?
Yeah, this is footage that Beth and I captured. It was quite an early investigation actually, because this was a little while ago. And Dudley Castle's got it's got a long history, but a lot of it is kind of ruined. So the area we were investigating is most of the ruins where there was no flooring, there was no ceilings. It was literally just stone walls. So we were in one of these servants' rooms. I think we kind of figured it out. It was. And we're on our own. It was kind of cold, so a lot of the other people were kind of further up the range, sort of in the undercroft or the main building, staying warm, rather than standing around in the cold. But yeah, while we were there, it was freezing.
I was ill.
Yeah.
I was ill for 5 days afterwards. I wasn't
Not surprised.
Sorry.
That's all right. Right, so I'll just play the footage and I'll talk about it. Yeah. Okay. It's definitely an electric one.
Jesus Christ, what was that?
I thought it was you clicking then.
No. Is there someone here with us?
Can you do that again?
Dude, my spine is picking up.
0.4.
Can you tell me your name? Please talk to us.
Yeah. Okay. It's definitely an electric one.
Jesus Christ, what was that?
I thought it was you clicking then.
No. Is there someone here with us?
Can you do that again?
Dude, my spine is picking up.
0.4.
Can you tell me your name? Please talk to us. Dude, my spine.
We're done. Okay.
We're done.
So we looped around that one twice just to kind of try and catch it. Again, there was a bit of a countdown to try and pick up what we think was a bit of an unusual sound to hear when you're in a stone room. And I didn't mention, but the flooring was just gravel. They kind of put a lot of gravel around for you to kind of step around to walk around the ruins. But it was only a very unusual noise to hear. But again, it wasn't an EVP, it's something we heard at the time. But if you heard anything and you think you might know what it is, then drop a note.
Yeah, let us know what you hear. Let us know what you make of it. I think that you got somewhere like Dudley Castle, it's just ruins, isn't it? It is just ruins. There is no floor above. There is no, what we think we hear can't have been made for what we had to play with and walk around. So it's certainly an odd one. It's really an odd one.
It's definitely a hard investigation too, but yeah, quite worth it.
It was hard. It was difficult. I mean, you had like the undercroft bit, didn't you? You had like the sort of underneath, and then you had like one of the big rooms in there, and then.
Would you go back, Dudley?
Yeah, I think I would. Would you go back, Andy? Dudley Castle?
Oh yeah. I think we can probably get more out of that.
Just for the meerkats alone, I'd go back.
Just for the meerkats.
Apparently,
you got to take them back as well. So we need to
gift
go back.
shop. I got confused.
So Nick, you had like a dull thud on that video. So you had like a dull thud, which is what we're saying. Anyone else?
I was thinking it sounds quite wooden as well.
Wow, yeah. Julie said it sounds like a wooden door. Perfect.
Saying not a noise you expect to get in a stone ruined castle when you're on your own.
Yeah.
Donna says sounds like a heavy door shutting and a thud.
We just certainly had none of that at our disposal, did we? Because we were just standing in rooms with no ceilings, no doors, no windows.
Shell, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just literally a shell. So it's what made it bloody cold as well, wasn't it? So cold.
Yeah.
So Emma said, yeah, sounds like a dull thud. Not sure if my sound is great this evening. No, you've picked up what we think it is. It is dull thud, footsteps on wood, the door, like that sort of thing. But like I said, we said it before, again, that there was nothing there for us to create that sound. So really good, sort of not an EVP because it was real time. So with Andy and Beth experienced that real time and then caught it as well. So yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a good one to go back to. I think if we.
Yeah, I'd like to go back.
I think so. Cool. So that's Dudley Castle. Good venue. I think if you're going to book that one, I would always sort of invest a bit of time on who you're going to be going with and the numbers that are going to be going, because I definitely don't think that we could get. You certainly couldn't split into three, and yeah, it was more of a. I think I think on one stage you just had the rooms with the coffins in. That was just your room, wasn't it? And then you had like the undercrofty bit, and
there was a great room that was made up of like false walls, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Walk through, which didn't hold any sound at all. So if you're investigating one side, you hear quite a bit. But it'd be a good one to go back with small numbers.
And
we even tried to
when it's not so cold as well.
Yeah, that'd be
definitely. It's like either a September event, I reckon, or a May sort of event it would be, rather than a bloody. When did we go? Do we know when we went on that one?
I think it was March, maybe.
It was so cold. It was minus, wasn't it? It was so cold.
You were still in shorts and t-shirt.
Shorts and t-shirt, yeah.
And then ill for how long?
And then ill for a week. I wasn't off work because I'm hardcore, but I was literally shivering. I felt terrible. And did we stay after Dudley?
I
don't
remember.
It was November. Sorry, late November.
There we go. That's why it was stupid then. Cool. So let's move across country. Yeah, coffins. Yeah, Emma, there was a room. There was coffins there.
Yeah,
there's
the
stone coffin.
Stone coffin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, original stone coffin.
Ghost
yeah, that was.
I laid in one. Yeah.
I think we did. I think Lee laid in one as a part of a trigger object, which was fun. I think you're allowed to. I think they weren't off, but were they off-bound?
I took out the contents and just got in.
Yeah, dug it up. Perfect. Yeah. No, didn't.
Joking, obviously.
Didn't dig it up. It was so next we're going to move across country. Don't know which one it is. East, do you reckon? Warwick. We're going to move on to Warwick Castle now. And do you know what?
Is it east? It doesn't matter.
Warwick Castle.
South a little bit.
Yeah.
South, maybe a bit south actually.
Yeah.
South east, yeah. Warwick Castle. On reviewing what happened there and remembering what happened there, really want to go back. I think it was expensive. I think we have to really try and time it right. I've got a goodish relationship with a woman there who was open and honest about who else was there. So like I said, we were due to go there, but there was a wedding reception the same night, which we didn't end up doing. But it's certainly a really, really good venue. Loads of areas to investigate. Loads of frustrating areas that are closed off. Really.
It's quite an intact castle, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think for some of the castles we've been to with no rooms, and like Tutbury Castle was no floor in one of the rooms, where this is quite. You've got a lot of inside areas, and you got the towers.
Yeah, you have, yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, you are right. You are right. You know, you've got lots of inside areas to play with and lots of areas intact. I think that's where we picked up quite a lot of stuff as well, really. So, yeah. So Warwick Castle. How many kids we got at Warwick Castle? We've got a few. We've got
two.
A few is two. That's good. So the first one. So the first one is.
So that was basically so it was drawing a lot on your live streams, and at that point you'd Lee was walking around checking out the place, and then came and bumped into you, and you were in one of the bedrooms, I think. It's got a dress that's standing in the middle of the floor.
So we'll tell you where we were. We were, because if anyone knows what castle, the main room is locked off, but you can actually go up and then over.
You're on
a balcony looks over the main room, and then the bedroom there. So Lee had been live streaming. Lee had been live streaming there, and I'd taken a couple of people just down. And normally, this is a rare occasion where we didn't have live stream in the first bit of it, and yeah, it was a strange situation, and we had activity, we had noises and loads of different things happening, but also I suppose they're going to see it, aren't they? They sort of tell me so.
Well, the weird thing is, so you'd been in this session, and there were some really interesting bits with cat balls, where you'd put a cat ball in either doorway to this bedroom, yeah. And then you'd seen one go off, and then you switched them, and then the same one went off, and then the other one went off. Yeah. So they were kind of going at command. So then I think the rest of your team went off, I don't know, for copy or something, and you and Lee stayed in the room and then tried it out again to see if you can get the same stuff.
Yeah.
So we've got the footage of you trying it again and getting a similar sort of result.
So I remember it happening and thinking, bloody hell, I really do wish it was on camera. So then coming to find Lee and see what was going on, and Lee at that time had naturally broken from his group, and having the cat ball go off, sadly not on video, but can you do that one? Can you do that one? And then swapping them round, and then that, the new one going off. It was really strange, and that came and got you. And then let's roll the video, and then you see what sort of series of things that happen while we go back down there, which was good to catch. Good to catch on live stream.
I was just explaining how you would set each cat ball off. So I'm going to put one down here, back where it was. There's one there. I'm going to put one in this doorway here, where you were doing it. So, what? Can you do those cat balls for me again? Ignore the bright light. So you start off doing this one over here in this doorway, and point to it again. There. You started off doing that one, and then you did that one. I wonder if there's any way you can do them again for me. Even if you just try and push one of those balls over. Okay.
I heard noise over there.
Yeah, did you hear it?
Yeah.
So there we go.
I literally heard a noise in that doorway.
Push it, that's it. Do it again for me. Just push it. See the flashlight there?
No.
Try and push one of those balls over. There we go.
I heard noise over there.
Yeah, and did you hear it?
Yeah.
So there we go.
I literally heard a noise in that
You just got to push it, that's it. Do it again for me. Just push it. See the flashlight there? There we go.
I heard noise over there.
Yeah, and did you hear it?
It is really cold.
You saw our reaction
Into
to
the
that
warm
ball
house.
flash. Get in.
Brilliant.
That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank you so much. That's exactly what's happened before, but you can hear it. Do it again for me.
A light's just shot straight up from the ball.
Can you do that? You saw our reaction, honestly, it's amazing.
Please, can you do it again? Make that flash one more time for us, please.
Come in. Do that ball. You're in that doorway, aren't you?
What was the voice?
You're in that doorway. Do it again for me. Flash that ball for me.
Please.
Oh man, it feels area now.
No.
Oh, I've gone so cold.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's so cool. Freezing.
Yeah, I'm cold. This is a warm house as well.
Just come in. See that ball? You're in that doorway, aren't you?
What's the voice?
Come in. See that ball? You're in that doorway, aren't you?
What's the voice?
It wasn't the curly word.
It looks like
Okay.
something goes in front of them. We're back, boys.
Yeah, and we're back. So we were sitting there watching the footage.
It gets you again. We watched it. It gets you really excited. Like it looks like the ball sort of blurs out before it goes off. There's an orb that comes up from the cover. I know that Emma said about the orb that went off, and then Nikki said as well about the wisp that flew up from the carpet, and also a whisper. Yeah. So I think that we were hyped about this video because of the cat ball activity, but it's actually going back. That's what I love about doing these shows. You go back over and think, actually, it was this, and then you hear this, and you hear this, and I remember clearly both of us at one stage, and then we probably try and release the footage, put this together and release footage on this as well. Mary making note of that. But we both pan. You see the camera, and then I was like, I think there's someone standing in the doorway, and you say, well, I pan the camera around at the same time. So we both. It wasn't just the thought that the ball's gone. It was almost like there was someone beyond the threshold of the two doors.
There was nobody else around us.
Just us. Just us. And this was another one that was. This was another one that was a sort of private one. It was just a team one. We didn't have any. We've had a couple of friends from work, I think, but that was sort of private, really. But I know that Hannah said she'd love to investigate it. Nikki said about coming there. This is definitely one. Hannah, for what you guys do, it's an expensive one. So I reckon you get a team together and come along with us, and then we can split the castle and we'll do it that way. But yeah, this is certainly one that we had booked. We had. What's that?
They're gone.
Yeah, this is one we had booked to go back to. We would desperately go back to it, and then like I said, we cancelled it for the right reasons because of the wedding reception, and then COVID hit. So this is definitely one we'll be going back to and booking again. So we just need to insist that we're the only people that are using the castle that night. But yeah, really odd, really odd video, and a really odd series of events. Like it wasn't just about the flashiness and this. We felt like there was someone that was watching us from the two doorways. And then the next video, I guess, moves on from the same footage, Andy, doesn't it? So it moves on. Same investigation.
Just jumping on. Got a message from Georgia on YouTube again. So he was basically asking where we're from and if we can look at some castles in South Wales.
So I would guess direct back to Georgia to watch the last week's show if she hasn't already, because we look at maybe not. So south, we looked at Margam Castle, we looked at Craigie-Noss Castle, and we've done a review on those on the last show, Georgia. So if you want to go watch that back, and yeah, I think Craigie-Noss is probably a show in itself, isn't it? But sorry, Mary. But it is. Yeah, go back and watch last Friday. No, when was it? Last Friday show.
Yes.
Last Friday show.
Yeah.
Go back and watch last Friday's show because we do review some South Wales castles in South Wales, and we've been to quite a few venues in Wales, haven't we? And on the border as well. So we've got St Breville's Castle.
Is the border, isn't it?
Yeah, St Breville's Castle as well. So, but yeah, any you can recommend though, George, let us know because we'll come on down most definitely.
I know there's an awful lot around the Gower Peninsula, sort of like Swansea sort of area, and that Gower Peninsula. There's absolutely loads, but I don't know what state they're in. I think a lot of them are sort of like derelict ruins as opposed to. It's not as good as Warwick, put it that way. But yeah, there's loads. So we could just sort of stay in that peninsula sort of area, if you like, the Gower Peninsula area, and investigate the whole of that.
Yeah, if George got any suggestions, then let us know.
Cardiff Castle, or I don't know if that's its name, but there's a castle right by the stadium in Cardiff.
Yeah.
And that looks really interesting. I was staying in a hotel there this time last year.
Oh, nice. I've worked in Cardiff. I've seen that.
And it is stunning.
Yeah.
Really stunning. So
the thing is, the big castles like that are stunning and used, they don't tend to let us in. But if anyone's got any suggestions where we can go, any castles you've been to, Mark Irwood's our castle man. He does a lot of when he goes away with the family in the UK. He'll always visit. He takes the kids to castles and stuff. So that'd be good. So yeah, the second part of this video is a follow-on from the same investigations. And me and Lee are still there. And the place just gets weirder, and it just gets weirder to the fact that we have the cat balls, we think we see someone, we've got the orb, we're having the voices, and then have a watch of this. See what you think of this one.
Do it for me again over there. Do that one. Stick with that one if that's what you prefer. Sort of flashing light behind there.
That wasn't me. Was that you?
No.
And again.
Do that again for me over there then. Oh, I thought something was on the door.
Yeah, I've just done the exact same thing. Exactly the same thing.
You shitting me. I thought someone was standing there.
Yeah, same. That's why I just started the camera around. Oh man, I haven't felt like this for ages.
I know, it's amazing. I haven't got to finish it now. Might roll it to me.
That'd be amazing.
I know, imagine it rolling. Just flashing's good enough though. If you can flash it just once. Can you do that? No? Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Honestly, thank you so much.
Oh.
See that?
Yeah.
Like a flash of light behind it.
Yeah.
Strange, isn't it? We think we may see you behind the ball.
I'm going cold again.
Yeah, I know. But thank you very much for doing that. Can I ask you one more time? No, I'm not. I get it. You're bored of me.
What?
That's locked and alarmed, that is. Did you hear that?
Yeah. There's no one on that side, is there?
Locked and alarmed.
Okay, there we go.
Cool. So, like I said, it's again when we took, before we went back and looked over the footage of this and really went back into things, we were really focusing on the door, the cat balls, and just the feeling. But actually, when we've gone back to look at the footage, you've heard the audio, the noise behind the. So basically, where I'm sitting behind me is the two doors that lead into the main castle bit, which is all locked off because it has a suit of armour, and it's devastating. And I tried the door, of course, because they left it open for us. But so you couldn't go in there and investigate. But as soon as we walked around there during the day, we were like, geez, I'm going to investigate in here. I'd love to do a board in there because there were so many artifacts, but it was locked off. Yeah. And so we were conscious that we wanted to investigate in there. And then suddenly the noise behind us, the cat, yeah, it was really odd. I wish you'd had to watch the video of the cat balls in the beginning because it was going real on response, but they were good. You can't, normally if a cat ball goes off and goes off and goes off, we'll end up resetting them, but it wasn't going off all the time. But that, if you think about that video coupled with the cat balls, what we thought we saw, how we were feeling,
our feelings as well.
Yeah, and then the door banging behind, and then Andy said you picked up a voice. We didn't even hear that voice. We didn't even really acknowledge it. So, has anyone heard that voice? Do you think you know what it says, Andy? Do you think have you got an idea what you think?
No, it's hard to pick out. It's a few syllables though. It sounds male to me.
We just thought there was people around us, didn't we? Like I said, I've said it before, but Lee pans the camera around, and I'm already looking at that door, and already saying to him, I thought there was someone in that doorway then. And on an investigation, because I'm a nightmare for walking around, the team are always on edge that someone is wandering around the castle, because it's normally me. I've got bored, or I've wandered off, or I've kicked a cat ball, or stood on someone's equipment because I've just gone bursted through the door or whatever. So people are on edge that someone is walking around the castle, but no one came in. And I remember being beyond that we were shut in there, So, real good piece of evidence. Real, like I said, I know we joke about that's a show in itself, but I think there's warrant in those videos going out and you watching the whole series of it, and almost like not the uncut versions, but really the series of events. Because certainly the one in Lancaster Castle, that's a long series of really good activity, and then in Warwick, there's 100 videos out there where I've said to Lee, you've got to come in here, or someone's come and got us. Are you guys live streaming? Come and watch this. And we've gone in, and nothing happens. And nothing happens. We've got more of those videos. Or we're like, oh, so we go, yeah, so should we come offline now because nothing's happening videos, then actually the long series event. So for us to go back to the place and me set the balls up again and then to work, it's actually probably a real favourite piece of evidence for the longevity of it that I've almost put to bed and forgot about, you know. So
yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Emma's got to go now. Thank you for participating again tonight.
Cheers, Emma.
I've been speaking to Emma. She's going to come on an event with us. Maybe do one of the private ones or whatever. So she's going to come on there as well. Warwick Castle's one that's definitely going to be booked. So, well, once we open up, that'll probably be next year. No, this sort of time next year, I think. Not because it's an expensive event, and we want to make sure that one there certainly is done, because some of these venues as well, from a COVID point of view, will still allow events to happen because they've got a lot of outside area, and say you've got to be in a group of 6 or whatever, but they're hard events. So actually, we can't then cancel those events because the venues are still making them go ahead. So actually, we need to be really coy and really clever about how we book these next events, and maybe look at something like that, something to look forward to in the early part of next year. Not March, I reckon April, May sort of time, where it's a bit warmer, you know, and go like that really. So, but yeah, so that's the footage we wanted to bring to you tonight. It's been fun reviewing. I think you've given us a new lease of life for us to be able to go back and investigate, and I can't wait to be able to bring to you either investigations from live streams from venues or investigations. So, and that's hopefully not too far away. While we're on that subject, next Wednesday, guys, we're coming live, and we're coming live from a venue. We've managed to secure a venue. It won't be the whole team there, so it'll just be a few of us. We're going to come in Facebook Live. There's a bit of a caveat behind the whole, make sure there's got signal. If you're watching us on YouTube, I'm not sure that's going to be feasibly possible yet until people start liking, sharing, subscribing, and liking our videos and going down that route, really. Because if we were at 1,000, there is no doubt that next Wednesday we'd be live from the venue. Next Wednesday's venue, I'm not going to give the name of it yet, but it's, I would say, arguably one of the most famous venues in the UK for ghost hunting. Certainly for, certainly, good plug, Mary. But yeah, certainly from a ghost hunting point of view, there's been every big company has been there, every TV show has been there.
It's in the top 3 most
it's got to be
research places.
And there will be 3 of us, just 3 of us, sitting there investigating. And you'll find out when we come live from there next week. It's definitely a means to an end because we've booked it a couple of times. So we're going to go back there again in May and do a full live investigation. So we'll be there from 6 until 6, and we'll do a full live investigation, signal permitting and stuff. So next Wednesday we are coming live direct from a venue. I know Nikki, but you're so lucky. We are, and I feel really privileged to be able to do this. But Donna, we'll be recording, so you can watch. Donna says she's down, she's on a late shift, but you can watch it back, and we're also going to release the footage on it for the Saturday show as well. So we'll actually have almost like a double header. So we will be investigating. So next week we will be discussing this venue and the activity that we've had across the many years. We'll have live footage. We'll have all of our equipment dotted around this venue. Then he said the name of it then. Dotted around this venue. Not East Drive. It's more famous than East Drive, Julie. Definitely. I think it's more historic than East Drive. There's more activity than East Drive. Actually, we had a good show. It's not very late East Drive. But so we're going to have. So our aim, and again, I always put a little caveat: is signal permitting to make sure that we can do it. But we're going to be coming live to about between 8:30 and 9:30. I think maybe around sort of 9 o'clock-ish, signal permitting. And we want to come live to you like this, but we're going to have each room decked out with stuff that we'd be able to hear and stuff that we'd be able to see. Hopefully some cameras dotted around. So while we're talking about our experiences, we will have all of how we set up on an event, we will be set up. So if we're talking about a previous investigation there, and the catwalk goes off, or the REM pod goes off, or there is some disturbance, we will go straight into that room, we'll be investigating it. We're hopefully, depending on it, be able to bring Mary in as well. Borley Rectory doesn't exist anymore.
I'd love
to have done Borley. Borley burnt down in a fire, so Donna could join about 10:30. Donna, we'll be still on, definitely,
Yeah, we'll
definitely be still on. So this venue's it's an epic venue. We are very, very privileged to be able to go there with just three of us. You know, we're going to be COVID safe, so
we're the lowest numbers we've ever done it.
Ever done it. We've done it with 6 of us before, but we're going to go live with just the 3 of us there, and the whole house is going to, the whole place, the whole place is going to be decked out. And every room will have.
There may be less of us. It's all COVID test permitting as well.
Yes,
we've got to do a test.
So we would have been So we'll be all COVID tested as well. So we're allowed to go and do it because we're filming, and we will all be conducting a COVID test before we go in there as well to make sure that we'll be keeping our distances. Myself and Leah in a bubble, so we're absolutely fine. We've been in a bubble since the start of it. We'll be wearing face masks, so we'll be keeping face masks on as well, and we'll be socially distanced as much as we can. Tell us where it is. Message me privately, Nicky, I'll tell you. No, I'm talking. So, next Wednesday, we are coming live from a venue. Like I say, we're going to talk about the venue and previous experience. We won't bring any footage because we're going to go live and raw, and then we'll tell you about our experiences. We'll do a walk around.
There's been a lot of experience.
We'll do a walk around to show you the venue itself, and then we'll do a bit of investigating as well, I reckon.
Definitely.
But that's going to set us up because we've already booked the second day, so this is a double header. We're going to go live, full investigation on the 15th, or Saturday the 15th of March. Saturday the 15th of May. I'm doing through with my dates. But, so that's exciting news. Absolutely exciting news.
That'll be live on Facebook, won't it?
What, the one on
Wednesday?
Wednesday is live on Facebook only, guys. So if you're watching on YouTube, try and follow us on Facebook. We will post the video again.
I'll post a link after the show underneath the comment. I'll comment under this video.
So if you are watching it, if there's a way we can do it, we can certainly bring base control on YouTube, because you can go live on YouTube with on a base computer. So that's maybe an option, but we won't be able to walk you around the house, but you'll still get to see a bit of the footage. But we're going to play around with that from now until then. So next Wednesday, we will be coming live from a venue for the first time. We've worked hard to get to that point, and we can't wait. Absolutely can't wait to bring it to you. So that just leaves to say thank you ever so much for tuning in tonight. Sorry for the little glitch in the middle. You know, it shows we're live and we don't put our videos together, and we're trying to do what we can. But yeah, it's been great to talk to you. You know, like I say, it's good for you guys to get involved with us, but it's been really good to us for reviewing the footage. It's given us a new lease of life to venues that, you know, we've not forgotten, but we probably take for a bit of granted. We can get in at any time we want to, but certainly going back to Lancaster, that we'll try and get you there. You've not been there, but certainly Warwick Castle, and try and go back to them, and hopefully some of the names that are popping up and chatting to us will be able to come live to you, and you'll be able to join us. You'll be able to join us on some investigations. But keep liking, sharing, promoting us, guys. Keep subscribing on YouTube. If we can get 800 subscribers, or less than that now, if we can get 700 subscribers from now till Thursday, then we'll come live. We'll have an investigation on YouTube. We'll have the whole show on YouTube. But at the moment, we're a little bit further away.
Wednesday as well.
Wednesday, not Thursday. Wednesday. We'll be releasing the video on Thursday. But guys, thank you ever so much. Thanks for tuning in. As always, yeah, you've been brilliant. Thanks for participating. If you've got any footage or anything you want to send in to us, then please do that. But if not, we will see you next week live from a venue.
Thought you were going to say.
Good night, people. Yeah, oh my God, I'm so excited. No, but thanks so much, guys. We'll see you very soon. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers, guys. Good night.
Bye.